Greetings everybody, welcome to another video, and as you can tell from the title, this is episode 1 of another series I'm going to start. Is recent book pickups. Before I did a recent video game pickups, I'm going to do a recent Blu-ray pickups, soon, maybe. Now I'm going to do a recent book pickup. There are a good amount of books here, and a lot from the childhood, so let's get to it. This one isn't from the childhood, but I got this yesterday, because I bought it from Amazon. That is Batman the Killing Joke. It was recently announced that this was being adapted into an animated feature, and I remember... it looked like my webcam's freezing. I remember reading this a few years ago, and I don't remember much of it. So when I found out that they're making an animated feature about this graphic novel, I figured, you know what, let me read it again so I could familiarize myself with it. And I read it this morning, and it is a very well written, very well drawn, colored. It's a very well made graphic novel, and it may or may not be the last Joker story, because at the end of this, spoilers, at the end of this, Batman might have killed the Joker. It's not really clear how it's drawn and everything, and it might be the last Joker story. It might not be. So yeah, Killing Joke, highly recommended. Whoops. Yeah. Anyway, next up, back in the day when I was a young lad, there was a series of books I would read, called Captain Underpants, and it was released, the first and second and I think third book were released in full color, and this is the first book in full color, and it also has, Learn the true origins of Captain Underpants. There's a mini story at the end of this book where the author tells a story of how he was a young kid and how he was like the two characters in the story. The two characters in the story, George and Harold, there you go, Harold, are based on him when he was a kid. He was a troubled kid. He drew comics with the character he created, Captain Underpants, and yeah, he would get in trouble a lot and stuff. And I just wanted to get back into the series because I haven't read it in so long, and I missed out on several books. So yeah, I decided to pick this up in full color. Where do I put it? I'm gonna put it back on my lap. Next up is the second book in full color, Captain Underpants and the Attack of the Talking Toilets. This is funny, as is the first one, as is all of them. And it's funny because when I was young, I would read them and not know it, but they break the fourth wall a lot in this book, in the Captain Underpants series, and now that I'm older and I understand that stuff now, it's funny. It's, even funnier than it was back then. So, yeah. Let's turn these upside down, and here is the first book in soft cover, not in color, it's black and white. This takes me, this is a reprint. These next few Captain Underpants books are reprints because they're all shiny and glossy and whatnot. But, yeah, reading these books really takes me back to when I was a kid. And I'm sorry I keep looking at the screen, you know, because I'm looking at myself record. I should be looking at the camera. Look at the camera. Where the friggin' hell? Oh, I'll put it on my lap. Here is the second book. Soft cover. Once again, not in color. But, yeah. It's Captain Underpants, what can I say? Funny. Even funnier now that I'm older. So, I can appreciate it more now that I understand some of the jokes a little more. I mean, it's not like adult humor, but it's kind of, you know what I mean. Breaking the fourth wall, I know what that means now. Here's the third Captain Underpants book, Captain Underpants and the Invasion of the Incredibly Naughty Cafeteria Ladies from Outer Space and the Subsequent Assault of the Equally Evil Lunchroom Zombie Nerds. That's a very long title. This is the one where Captain Underpants gets his superpowers. Yeah. Now I'll flip through it a little bit. Kind of going backwards, but it's whatever. Yeah, I have all these books already in their original printing, where they're not all shiny and glossy, but the covers are missing, pages are torn out. They're old. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Here is the fourth one, Captain Underpants and the Perilous Plot of Professor Poopy Pants. I remember, getting this at the book fair back in elementary school and reading it, and having a whole lot of laughs. reading it, as I do with all the other Captain Underpants books. I just been on to get things from my childhood binge because growing up sucks. I just felt like, I haven't read the series in a while, and I missed out on a lot of books from the series. Next up is Captain Underpants and the Wrath of the Wicked Wedgie Woman. Looking at this book now reminds me that I used to draw the characters a lot. In school, in class, I'd sit down and draw the characters. It was a lot of fun. And, the usual. Comedy, breaking the fourth wall. It's a lot of fun, the series. I'm trying to think of things to say after showing you every book. There's not much to say about them. Captain Underpants and the Big Bad Battle of the Bionic Booger Boy, Part 1, The Night of the Nasty Nostril Nuggets. Another mouthful. This book is gross, I guess. It's not gross to me, but the descriptive words is kind of gross. And it's funny, because when the writer is describing the Bionic Booger Boy, you can see here, he's describing it so grotesquely and disgustingly that the character George actually yells to the writer, enough, it's gross, stop describing him, it's nasty, and it's fourth wall breaking, things like that I like a lot about the series. Next up is Captain America and the Big Bad Battle of the Bionic Booger Boy Part 2, The Revenge of the Ridiculous Robo-Boogers. This was the one I left off on when I was younger, because the next one in the series didn't come out for a long, long time, and I just moved on from it. Now I'm back. Instead of fighting a big booger boy, you fight three little... He fights little booger robot guys. Yeah. Now, here's the one that I left off on, that I didn't read until this morning I read it. And, it's the usual funniness. Captain Underpants and the Preposterous Plight of the Purple Potty People. I love these titles. Once again, I'm reading this. I read it fresh, not knowing what was happening, and it was cool to read them that way, because the other Captain Underpants books I read knowing what's going to happen, but it was fun reading this and not knowing what was coming. In the Captain Underpants series, there was 2 activity books that came out. This is the Captain Underpants Extra Crunchy Book O Fun, and the all-new Captain Underpants Extra Crunchy Book O Fun Part 2. Yeah. I already have these. The ones I already own were in pretty good condition, so I didn't do any of the puzzles in these, but my older ones, I did all the puzzles. So I could just go back and look at what the puzzles, the answers there. But, it's fun to have activity books of series, especially children's books. I don't think they do that anymore, really. Just, that some of them came with, this one came with a sheet of stickers, and this one came with another sheet of stickers. I'm not going to use these stickers. I'm going to keep them in the book. The ones I already have, the stickers are out and they're used. But, yeah, the 2 activity books from the series. Next up is a book from the same author as Captain Underpants, except he credited the 2 characters, George and Harold, from the Captain Underpants books as writers, because in this story, they wrote this book. You know what I mean. The Adventures of Ook and Gluck, Kung Fu Cavemen from the Future. I've never read this before. I've never heard of it until recently, so I decided, since I'm getting Captain Underpants, and I'm reading all of those, I might as well read all the books in the same style as them, same author and everything. But this one is a comic book. Like, I haven't read it, so I'm going through it now. Yeah. Lastly, of the Captain Underpants books, or the, having to do with Captain Underpants, this is Super Diaper Baby 2, The Invasion of the Potty Snatchers. Now, I haven't read this. Yeah, I just bought it today. Now, I haven't read it yet, because I want to reread the first one, which I have coming to me in the mail, hardcover. And, yeah, I remember this is also this and the first one is also the same as a, like a comic book, drawn by the 2 characters from the Captain Underpants books. But, yeah, Invasion of the Potty Snatchers is like a play on of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's kind of obvious. And, yeah, I have the first one coming to me in the mail, and I'm going to read that. And then this. While reading this. And this next book. If you saw my unboxing of my package of 3 books, this was one of them. I'm in the process of reading it. I'm on like chapter 4, I think. Console Wars. I'm on like I said, I'm on chapter 4, and it's an interesting read. I'm looking forward to continuing reading the story behind Sega and Nintendo in the 80s and 90s fighting. Next up, I found in Barnes & Noble for $5. It retails for $15, and that is William Shakespeare's Star Wars. I want to wait for the other ones to go down in price so I could pick those up, but I think this is an interesting concept, taking classic, awesome sci-fi movies and make them Shakespearean. That's pretty cool. Next up is one of the books that was in my unboxing video, which I haven't read yet, and that is Batman Arkham Knight, The Riddler's Gambit. Like I said, I haven't read this yet, so I can't give any impressions on it. It's a prequel to Arkham Knight. That's all I know. Yeah. And lastly is the book, one of the books from my unboxing video. Ready Player One. Haven't read it yet, but it's Willy Wonka meets the Matrix. If that says something, that means I'm going to like it. So that's it. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that video. Here's a shot of the books. There's quite a lot. Hold on. Yep. It's not light. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Cops are outside. Anyway, yeah. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and comment, even though no one will. But, you know, hey. So, yeah. Have a good day. Or night. Depends on when you're watching this.